walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Nah, this game ain't over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by Jones Media and Entertainment, or JM&E as we like to call it. And we're streaming on FireTV and we're on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. That's right. If you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV and you will check out the lunch break. You can check out a whole bunch of other great content. In fact, I'll be showing you what the lineup looks like in just a little bit. But again, you got Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV, and you will be grateful. Trust me. Great programming. Like tonight, Queen 3 and King going to be on the air tonight at 7 o'clock Central. It's going to be fire. So, yeah, be sure to check it all out. Hey, I apologize. I know I've been gone for a while. Had some real serious issues with our internet service provider last week. We are back up and running. We're still not fully on the digital network. Remember, we're trying to get fiber in the hood. We're still not 100% on that, but we are on an upgraded platform. So I think we should not have any of our glitches that we had. If we do, y'all let me know so I can let them know and they can get on it. But man, it's been a rough road. But hey, we are determined. We are committed. What a great show Coach Cole had yesterday. Coach Johnny Cole and the HBCU Stroll yesterday. He had none other than SWAC championship coach and SWAC coach of the year, Coach Tamika Reed from Jackson State. What a great interview. I told him, Coach, that was one of your best shows ever. So, man, good to have her on. She was on for the whole hour, and great interview. Very personable, very authentic answers to questions, and just really good dialogue. I mean, if you haven't seen that one, go back and look at it. Go to Roku, download BS3 TV, click on the lunch break logo, and underneath there, you'll see yesterday's show. Be sure and check it out. I'm telling you, it was a good one. It was a very good one. In fact, we streamed that one on multiple different platforms yesterday because of the magnitude of the guests. So we want to thank Coach Cole for really doing a great job. I mean, he wasn't a radio guy, wasn't a TV guy, he's a coach. Coaching in the HBCU world, and now he is forging his way in the media side. So wish him nothing but the best. All right, it's Talk Your Team Tuesday, and we got a lot to talk about. Of course, the NBA Finals going on. I'm not the I told you so guy, but didn't I tell y'all Boston was going to go in there and get game one? I said, I don't know. I feel like everybody's talking about Golden State in 4, Golden State in 5, Golden State in 6. You know, that can still happen on the 5 and the 6, but the Golden State ain't going to sweep this because Boston went in there and got game 1 of the NBA Finals in San Francisco. Golden State had not lost at home all playoffs long until Boston showed up. And Boston did it with defense and with their star player, Jason Tatum, playing like a facilitator, running the offense, not scoring, but running the offense, and they got it done. Now, as quickly as that happened, Golden State flipped the switch in game 2 this past Sunday and locked it down. They locked it down defensively. Man, when I tell you, Boston could not find a clean shot to save their life. Even in the paint, Golden State stepped up and turned the defense up to a level that Boston was not able to handle. And the series is now tied at 1 each. Now, again, I'm not surprised by that. I didn't think Boston was going to sweep Golden State, and I didn't think Golden State was going to sweep Boston. This game 3 is critical. This game 3 is critical because Boston has already stolen home court advantage back from Golden State. By winning that game 1 in San Francisco, Boston literally could wrap up the series on their home court. But it all starts with them winning this game tonight. They got to get this game, tomorrow night. They got to get that game 3 tomorrow night. And I'm sure there's some crazy percentages of the teams that win game 3, how many of them go on to win the best of 7 series. But all I know is games 1, 3, and 5. 1, 3, and 5. Look back in history. The teams that won game 1, game 3, and game 5 have a ridiculous percentage of winning the series. So, you know, if Boston is true to it and not new to it, they steal this game tonight. God, quit saying I want it to be tonight. I'm so mad at the NBA for stringing these games out so long. Let's play. Let's go. Come on. So anyway, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central in Boston, game 3. If Boston gets that game, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. And I got to tell you, he has quickly become my favorite in-game adjustment head coach, Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka makes in-game adjustments like nobody's business. But, well, what happened Sunday night? Well, hey, he made some adjustments. It just didn't get the job done. I mean, there's every now and then another team imposes its will on your will, and they come out on top. But I'm saying in-game adjustments like nobody's business, Ime Udoka is high on my list, if not the top, one of the top 2. We'll see what he strategizes and comes up with for what Golden State did to them defensively, and how they adjust off of that, because Golden State is going to try and do some different things than what they did in game 2, how Udoka can adjust to what they adjust to and ultimately try and get a win. Again, that game will be tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central, and it will be in Boston. Get ready to take a break. But what I want to talk about when I come back is Draymond Green. I want to talk about him when I come back. We'll do that next right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and brought to you by BS3 TV live on Roku.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break powered by JM&E and streaming live on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. That's right. If you've got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV and you will be able to see the lunch break live as well as some other really great shows. Big shout out to Coleman and Snowman and Cole on their great show. They do it every morning on BS3 TV. Big shout out to my brothers who talk about Wildcat basketball. Big shout out to the brothers that do the forecast, FOUR cast, talking about different movies and life issues and things like that. Man, just some really great programming on BS3 TV. You want to check it out. All right. I said before the break, I wanted to talk about none other than Draymond Green. Man, let me tell you something. I actually became a fan of Draymond Green a couple of years ago when they were in the NBA Finals against LeBron James and the Cavaliers. And Draymond, basically said, while he is a very aggressive player and fierce competitor and what have you, why should he step on the neck of a man like LeBron James when the owners are up in the press box having drinks? So if LeBron James gets knocked down, he's going to reach down there and help him up. He respects him. I became a fan of Draymond Green after that. I'm like, man, okay, he gets it. He gets it. You don't have to be this ruthless gladiator because, the rich owners put you in a ring together. You can still have some sense and some compassion and all of that. But here lately, Draymond Green, there were two critical plays in Sunday night's game that I thought that Draymond went over the line. One was called a technical, the other one was not. And if it had been, Draymond would have been disqualified for the rest of the game. I feel like Draymond Green is walking a very fine line. Walking a very fine line between normal, aggressive basketball plays and crossing the line to an overly aggressive foul outside of a normal basketball play. And I'm not picking on Draymond Green. I'm not hating on Golden State. And I don't want to hear back in the day. I don't want to hear about that because no matter how tough and rough it was back in the day, that's not how this NBA is refereed and how it's played. It's just not. And you can go on and on and on. In fact, most people who did not play are lying. Most people who did not play back in the day, I'm not talking about, I played at my one single A, 3-man basketball team. I'm not talking about that. Just because you won the one single A championship in Sioux Falls, you don't get to go back in the day. You could do this and you could do that. You didn't do that, so you don't get to dictate that on these professional athletes who are 1% of the best. In this NBA, under these rules, Draymond Green is very close to getting flagrant fouls that will keep him out of the rest of games and possibly disqualify him from future games. And I know Steve Kerr is a kind of like a mini Phil Jackson. He's a Zen master. He doesn't want to curtail or squash the energy of his players, but he's also got to be careful because if they cross that line, he won't have those players. I feel like Draymond Green needs to be brought closer back to the right side of the line than the wrong side of the line. And I know there's some who don't agree with me. That's fine. I'm not a referee. You're not a referee. I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Talk Your Team Tuesday. I feel like Draymond is getting away with a little bit more than he should or than other players would. If Al Horford was out there going through a guy from his backside where the guy goes head first into the floor, or they get tangled up, they're on the court, and Draymond and Al Horford push the guy in the back, the guy gets up to take exception, and Draymond, kicks him with his foot, jumps up, and he's in his face, other guys would be teed up. Al Horford would be teed up. They'd be teed up, regardless of whether they already got a tee or not. Draymond should not get the luxury or the courtesy of not being teed up for a flagrant foul that he committed. Nobody committed it on him. Nobody forced him to commit it, but he shouldn't get the luxury or the courtesy of not being assessed a flagrant foul that he committed just because he already had one flagrant foul already. If Draymond is not going to temper his game, then give him what he came there for. If it were not Draymond, if it was Al Horford, if it was Jason Tatum, if it was Marcus Smart, I'd say the same thing. You cannot not call fouls, especially flagrant fouls, on people because they already have one, and that would disqualify from the game. If they going to do it, give them what they came there for. Oh, but AJ, that will affect the series unfairly. Then talk to Draymond. Then let him know your behavior is about to affect the series unfairly. It's not the referee's job to manage the behavior of Draymond to keep him in the game. It's their job to manage the behavior of Draymond Green based on the fouls that he commits. Yo, you can't do that. That's a foul. Yo, you can't do that. That's a flagrant foul. Yo, you can't do that. That's a flagrant 2. And because you already got another flagrant, you're out of here. That's their job. We're not talking to fans right now. We're talking to sensible basketball people. Draymond Green should not get the luxury or the courtesy of not being assessed a foul to the level that he commits it because he already has another foul. That's like an umpire who doesn't call a close third strike because the batter already has 2 strikes on him. Bruh, you watch one go past you, that umpire's going to ring you up. Yeah! It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. And the the referees need to referee this game, this series fairly, especially where Draymond Green is concerned. And I'm not picking on Draymond. He's just the one who is walking the fine line. He is definitely walking a fine line. All right, let me hit another break. I'll be right back. We'll be back with more right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E. If you want to get in, you can hit me up, 832-403-5005, 832-403-5005. You can text me, 832-403-5005, or you can email me, aj@jonesmediaandent.com, aj@jonesmediaandent.com. All right, we'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any glitches in our commercials. And like I told our internet provider, you costing me money. And when you cost me money, I'm going to cost you money. So they seem to have gotten that taken care of. And again, we're not fully on the fiber network. We don't fully have fiber in the hood just yet, but it is coming. So looking forward to that day when we won't have to worry about that. All right, we're back on the lunch break powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3. Appreciate them for getting us rolling right here, BS3 TV. Excuse me, my allergies are bad today as well. But just got some news. Tiger Woods is out of the 2022 U.S. Open. Tiger Woods is going to skip the U.S. Open at the Country Club, but he still plans to play in the British Open at St. Andrews. Also, Tiger Woods turned down a high 9-digit offer to play in this new golf league called LIV, or which basically stands for the Roman numeral 54. It's a new golf league that rivals the PGA. In fact, you've got a number of people that are resigning from the PGA. Dustin Johnson resigned. Phil Mickelson is going to play in that new league. Sergio Garcia, several others going to play in this new league. Tiger Woods reportedly is not one of them. Turned down a nine-figure offer to become a member of this new league. So, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm all for competition. Man, if there could be some legit competition to, the NFL, I know we got the USFL and soon the XFL, but, I can't call them competition just yet. The NBA, if there was some legit competition to the NBA, WNBA, legit competition to them, and definitely some legit competition to Major League Baseball, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at all, especially if there was more diversity in ownership and leadership. Have we ever had a black commissioner in basketball in NBA? Has there ever been a black commissioner in the NBA? I don't think there has. Stern was a commissioner forever, and now Silver. I don't think there was a black commissioner before that. Definitely has not been a black commissioner of the NFL, and I don't know if there ever will be. I don't know. And please don't get it wrong. I'm always going to stomp for my culture, but has there been a non-Anglo-American commissioner of either of those leagues? Hispanic, Asian. I mean, I would love to see some diversity in pro sports ownership and leadership. Sue me. So yeah, we'll see how this LIV or 54 golf league, we'll see how that they're throwing a lot of money around. I think the big issue is that they are backed by the Saudi Arabian government. Saudi Arabia is one of the, if not the primary backer financially of that league, which causes a lot of, feelings and emotions and what have you. So Tiger Woods said no. I think John Daly is. Is John Daly on that list? Yeah, I think John Daly is. But Tiger Woods is out. Big shout out to Aaron Donald, highest paid non-quarterback ever, as he should be. Best player in the NFL. Forget about position. Just talking about best player in the NFL, Aaron Donald. Definitely best defensive player in the NFL. He's getting a $40 million raise and will see $95 million in totality on a contract that runs through 2024. Do the math. Divide 95 by 2. That's what Aaron Donald's going to get per season. And I'm sure there's some incentives in there. The man deserves it. As much as I love J.J. Watt, as much as I love some of the other pass rushers of old, Aaron Donald does it straight up the middle. Yeah, they throw him out on the outside sometime, but most of his damage is done right in the middle of the offensive line, where it is easier to double and triple team him, and you still can't stop him. As was it Chris Berman who said you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him? That's Aaron Donald. He deserves that money. Where does Aaron Donald stack up amongst the richest deals ever handed out in NFL history? Let's see. Here we go. Top contracts: Patrick Mahomes, his $450 million deal. Josh Allen, number 2, $258. Deshaun, $230. Matthew Stafford, $160. Dak, $160. The quarterback up in Green Bay, $150.8. Matt Ryan, $150. Khalil Mack, $141. Devontae Adams, $140. And Russell Wilson, $140. But when you average out the annuals, this is where well, they didn't put him in there. When you average out the annuals, on the average annual salary, Rodgers gets $50 million per year. Deshaun, $46 million per year. Pat Mahomes, $45. Josh Allen, $43. Derek Carr, $40. Dak, $40. Matthew Stafford, $40. Russell Wilson, $35. Kirk Cousins, you like that? Gets $35 per year. And Jared Goff, $33.5. Most guaranteed money in a contract: Deshaun, $230. Quarterback up in Green Bay, $150 mil. Josh Allen, $150 mil. Pat Mahomes, $141. Matthew Stafford, $130. Dak, $126. Goff, $110. Carson Wentz, $107 million guaranteed. Russell Wilson, $107 million guaranteed. And Joey Bosa, $102 guaranteed. That's interesting. Donald has the most sacks ever by a defensive tackle after his first 8 seasons, and the 4th most by a player in NFL history in that span, which is actually incredible. He's only making $31.7 million per year. Still in his prime. So Good for him, though. Good for him. Good for the Rams. That puts them back in the conversation of being, who we thought they were. All right, got to take another break. I promised my sponsors that I would make up for their missed commercials. So if I'm taking a few more breaks than what you're used to, it's so I can honor my sponsors who have invested in what we do. So y'all stay right there. Be right back. Right after.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. Big shout out to Ben Sutter III, King Doc, and all the rest of the BS3 family. Again, if you got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV, and you will be in the midst of some great, great, great programming. All right, Keith Hennick, who did we think that the Rams were? I got them as the top team to beat in the NFC. I got the Rams as the top team to beat in the NFC. That's who I got them as. My top four in the NFC: Rams, 49ers, Tampa Bay, Dallas Cowboys. Not because I'm a Dallas fan. I just think that they're going to be under the radar. Excuse me, especially since they're rebuilding that offensive line. And if they can stop that thing from being as leaky as it was last season, give Dak a little bit more time, get some consistency in the running game with a healthy Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, who else is going to win the NFC East? Who else is going to win the NFC East? And I know people are talking about the NFC North. What makes me think that the team up there in Green Bay is going to do anything other than what they've done? They'll win 13 games, maybe 14, but they won't do anything in the playoffs. Playoffs? No, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. They're just not. Rams got a chance to win it. 49ers have a chance to win it. Tampa Bay has a chance to win it. Dallas has a chance to win it. There are a bunch of wild cards, though. Bunch of wild cards in the NFC. Don't know what, that team up there in Wisconsin they could get over the hump. They could if Mr. Drama King shuts up and sits down somewhere and stops showing people his nasty feet and, lying about stuff that he doesn't have to lie about. They got a shot. New Orleans is a wild card. New Orleans is definitely a wild card. Philly is a wild card. I don't have much expectation for Washington. I don't think that, Washington is going to be able to get anything more out of their quarterback than Philly was able to get out of him, than the Colts were able to get out of him. I think that, Carson Wentz is who we think he is. So, there are a couple of wild cards out there. I don't know if anybody else in the NFC North is going to make a run. Can Minnesota, make a run? Not with Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. Not with Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. Chicago, that's a heck of a leap. I mean, we just saw Cincinnati do it. I don't know if Chicago is ready to make a leap like that where they go from worst to first, but I won't be mad if they do. Good God, man. Somebody other than that team in Wisconsin win the NFC North would love it. Would absolutely love it. Detroit, no, I'm sorry. Dan Campbell and we're going to be tough. We're going to do yeah. Get back down at the bottom of the division and hush. All right. And then, there's a number of teams in the NFC West that are question marks. I don't know what the 49ers will be. I don't know if they will be able to get the job done with Jimmy Garoppolo or without Jimmy Garoppolo. Heck, Jimmy Garoppolo might be the reason why they have not been able to max out. Trey Lance, I know he's had some injuries. I know there's some idiots out there running crazy reports about how unimpressed the front office is with Trey Lance. It's just not true. It's absolutely not true. So, the 49ers could take that next step. Seattle, and then Arizona. Again, don't know. They could be that team to take a significant leap. So those are question marks right there. Over on the AFC side, Buffalo, Kansas City. I'm going Baltimore. Notice I didn't say Cincinnati. Notice I didn't say Cleveland. Notice I didn't say Pittsburgh. I'm going Baltimore out of the North. And then out of the West, I said Kansas City. A lot of folks are talking about Denver. Maybe. Folks are talking about the Raiders. Maybe. Folks are talking about the Chargers. Maybe. Tennessee. Definitely has a shot to win. So top four in the AFC. Kansas City, Tennessee, Buffalo, and then you pick. I'm saying Baltimore. Those are my top four on the AFC side. Again, a lot of question marks. If Matt Ryan goes in and doesn't have to do a whole lot and can manage the game with his level of accuracy when he does throw the ball or need to throw the ball, man, Indianapolis could make a big jump. I don't expect the Texans to make a big jump. I don't expect Jacksonville to make a jump. Over on the other side with New England, they could make a jump. Miami, they could. Jets, no, not in my opinion. In the AFC North, anybody could win that. The Bengals could come out on fire and just run away from the pack. I don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh, if it's Mitchell Trubisky, if it's Kenny Pickett. I hope it is not Rudolph the Redneck Reindeer. Who knows? But again, if they can get stability at the quarterback, minus the turnovers that they were getting from Big Ben late in his career, they could, they're built to travel. They're built to win on the road. They're built to win in inclement weather. They could be there. Who knows what's going to happen with Cleveland? Who knows what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson leading the helm? How many games he'll play and how well he'll play with all the off-field pressure and stress that's going on there of stuff that he's still facing. So, don't know. And then out west in the AFC West, it's anybody's division. It could be, I got Kansas City, but who knows? The Chargers could finally turn the corner. The Raiders could finally turn the corner, and Denver could be back in the flow of things now that they've got a legit quarterback. So it's going to be very interesting. In fact, the NFL has released its preseason schedule. I'll get to that when we come back after these breaks right here on the lunch break, powered by Jones Media and Entertainment.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right. Back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. That's right. BS3 TV. Download it from your Roku streaming device and then click on the content. You're going to love every bit of it. You're going to love every bit of it. All right. A couple of text messages came in. Again, if you want to text me, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Somebody checking us out on 832-393. AJ, what do you think that the Texans are going to do? Do you think that they've gotten all the mess behind them? It looks like all the attention is on Cleveland. I don't know if all the attention is on Cleveland or that it's on Deshaun. And I think that's by design. I'm not, again, minimizing sexual assault or sexual misconduct in any way whatsoever. I believe that every person that has been victimized or assaulted should get their fair justice, fair day in court, fair results, all the above. I mean that with everything that is within me. The part that I'm talking about is the attorney for all of the women. I think he has a strategy and a plan to keep the emphasis on that quarterback. That quarterback will never be out of the spotlight when it comes to this. And that, one attorney for 24 women, one attorney. Not one single person said, you know what, I'm going to get my own attorney and I'm going to go after this and I'm going to try and get my justice. All 24 of them have been sought out, been found, and been, filed by one attorney. Nobody wants to really talk about that. I'm not minimizing the women. I'm not saying that they are not telling the truth. I'm not focusing on that part. But please let them get their justice. Please let them get their fair justice. As far as that attorney goes, though, there is no way you can do multiple things at one time. Multiple things at the same time can be true. One not more true than the other, and one not overshadowing the other. The ladies deserve their justice. They deserve their day in court. They deserve a fair settlement because these are civil cases now. These are civil cases. They deserve their fair settlement. The fact that there's one attorney that's representing everybody the way that he's representing everybody doesn't mean he's a good guy. Doesn't mean he's going about it the right way. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out more. Doesn't mean that he's a good guy. Doesn't mean that he's going about it the right way. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that. And I think that he's going to keep that attention and pressure on Deshaun Watson. Does that reflect on Cleveland? I guess if you want it to, but it doesn't have to. Now, to go back to the question, I think there's a sigh of relief in Houston. I think that there's a sigh of relief in that building. that they don't have to deal with all of this. You know, hindsight being 2020, it might have been smart the way that they dealt with it last season, just kind of keeping him out of the limelight. Yeah, he showed up at training camp. They couldn't stop him from being at training camp unless they literally were going to send him home, put him on some type of exempt list, you know, and then get in the battle of not paying him. They didn't do that. They just made him inactive for, you know, 17 weeks, 17 games, 18 weeks, 17 games. Does that mean they're going to be better? I don't know. I keep saying that they're going to be 7 to 8 wins, just looking at the schedule. But I don't know. I think they've got the right coach. And that's no shade at David Culley. I think Coach David Culley could have turned this around. You know, the fact that they stuck all of this on him and then fired him after one season was that's inexcusable and unforgivable to me for the Texans. But Lovie Smith, as their head coach, is a stabilizer. Lovie Smith's knowledge and intellect is exceptional. Lovie Smith's ability to, help players grow and become better and develop is extraordinary. So, and I know somebody right now, well, he didn't do that at Illinois. We didn't talk about it at Illinois. Look at what he did at Chicago. Well, he didn't do that at Tampa Bay. Yeah, whole different situations. Situations matter. You know, folks always want to talk about Lovie Smith and Marvin Lewis and what have you, and they'll forget that Bill Belichick got fired from Cleveland because he sucked. Not because he was so good. He got fired because he absolutely was horrible. You know, Nick Saban got fired from jobs because he sucked. Couldn't get the job done at those places, but when he got in the right situation, then all of his skill, all of his talent, all of his ability was able to shine forth. So miss me on, pulling out, oh, well, look what Marvin Lewis did. Look what Lovie Smith did at Illinois. Different situations. This could be a very good situation for Lovie Smith and the Texans organization if they give him time, let it play out, let him develop his players. You know, there's one guy that's a holdover from the Bill O'Brien era, and that's Laramie Tunsil. And I really think that if the Texans can resolve that issue, either get him on board with what Lovie Smith is putting out there, or get him out of the organization and let Lovie Smith just work with, who they have there, I think you'll see them start to progress. I think they'll get out of that 4-win realm. So we'll see. Good question. Good question. Let's see. Another one came in. 713-545. 713-545. AJ, why do you think Dallas is going to be good? They've done nothing that makes me think they're going to be any better than what they were last year. Yeah, they were 12-5 last year. That wins the NFC East. So, I mean, I get your point. I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying they're going to be 16-1. I'm not saying they're going to be 15-2. I'm not saying they're going to be 14-3. They might. What I'm saying is they're going to win the NFC East because there's nobody other than Philly, to me, that has done what they need to do to compete for that. The Giants haven't. Washington hasn't. Keith Hennick said it best. The Washington Commanders will be in the mix in 2040. Todd Malcolm, first round exit at home while I was turning up. First round exit at home while I was turning up. I don't know. Who are you talking about? The Cowboys? I mean, that may be true. But you can say the same thing about Green Bay. They have more history that says that's how they're going to perform. I think that the Cowboys have a better shot at going deep in the playoffs than Green Bay does. Green Bay created question marks by the moves they made this offseason. Green Bay has drama inside their organization that makes it hard for them to even develop any momentum. Dallas doesn't have that. Not anymore. They don't. One thing I'll say about the Cowboys is they may have helped themselves the move to get Amari Cooper out. The move beyond some of their defensive players. They literally might have made themselves better than that 12-5 performance. So as bad as we want to say that they were, 12-5 ain't bad. It was enough for them to win the division. Like I said, to me, just based on what I've researched this offseason, their only competition in that division is Philly. It ain't gonna be the Giants. It definitely won't be Washington. So we'll see. Let me see. Get another one in here. 346-220. 346-220. AJ, why do you think that Kansas City is still going to be good in the AFC? Because they are good. They're good in their front office. They're good on their coaching staff. They're good on their players. Yes, Tyreek Hill is going to be a huge hole to fill. Very much huge hole. I mean, you never know how much you miss a guy or need a guy till you don't have that guy. But I say once again, he wasn't their whole offense. He wasn't only their big play receiver. And oh yeah, by the way, they got a pretty good big play receiver to replace him. Not different styles, different ability, might not be a game breaker, but you mess around and focus too much on trying to blitz Patrick Mahomes. You focus too much on Travis Kelce. You focus too much on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And oh yeah, bam, there's Juju. I agree with that, Todd. I agree with that 100%. There's zero arguments. You can't replace a Tyreek Hill. Not at all, especially not one-to-one. If there were that many Tyreek Hills in the league, then baby, the highlight reel would be all wide receivers. All you can do is try and fill in that void with a player like Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju can get deep. Juju can make some plays. He just can't make plays like Tyreek Hill. So that being said, I think Kansas City is still built well enough that they win the AFC West. Is Denver better now that they've got, Russell Wilson? Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody's like, oh, now that defense can be what it's been. Y'all said the same thing about Washington. All Washington needed was a serviceable quarterback, and their defense was going to lead them the way. They got run over, they got run through, they got run around, they got dog walked all of last year. What happened to that defense? You can't guarantee that defense is going to play as well this season as they did in past seasons. So we'll see. That's why I said they're a question mark. Kansas City is not a question mark. Kansas City has question marks, but the overall organization is not a question mark. They're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. I got them winning the AFC West. I got another team that is a question mark and could be a X factor in the playoff. New England. They took up a playoff spot this season. Could they beat Buffalo and win the division? Not likely, but yes, they can. Yes, they can. It's not likely, it's not probable, but yes, they can. They're not a favorite to do it, but yes, they can. Yes, they can. That's why I say Cincinnati could run wild in the AFC North. Pittsburgh could run wild in the AFC North. Baltimore could run wild in the AFC North. Cleveland could run wild in the AFC North. They're question marks. My four in each division is my four. Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Tennessee. And Tennessee made some big moves on the offensive side, wide receiver related. To me, one of the biggest offseason moves that I think hurts Tennessee is them letting Dante Foreman go. Dante Foreman's in Carolina now. Dante Foreman was a big-time fill-in for Derrick Henry. And I really believe this. If they give the ball to Dante Foreman on 3rd and 1 and then 4th and 1, instead of what everybody expected, it going to Derrick Henry, we still talking about Tennessee. So Tennessee's going to win the AFC South, hands down. Question mark, Indianapolis. Everybody else, Houston, Jacksonville, boom. AFC East, Buffalo, New England, everybody else. AFC North, Baltimore, in my opinion, maybe Cincinnati, maybe Pittsburgh, maybe Cleveland, in that order. And then AFC West, Kansas City. Watch this. I'm going Kansas City and Raiders. I'm not even going Kansas City and Chargers or Kansas City and Denver. I'm going Kansas City number 1, Raiders number 2. So anyway, that's what I got. Hey, listen, I got to get ready to roll. Astros ended up losing 7-4 last night in spite of hitting 3 home runs. Altuve went deep, Tucker went deep, and McCormick went deep. But man, their bullpen couldn't shut anybody down last night. In fact, they caused a clear the bench, no brawl, but both benches cleared in the 9th because of bad bullpen pitching. So we'll see if the Astros can bounce back when they host Seattle tonight. 7:10, Justin Verlander on the mound for the Stros. Something about Seattle, man. Seattle has the Astros number this year so far, so we'll see. Again, NBA playoffs finals, NBA finals tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Boston hosting the Golden State Warriors. And again, that series tied at 1 each. I'm leaning Boston in game 3. I said it. Watch who wins game 1, watch who wins game 3, and watch who wins game 5. That, to me, will be your NBA champ. All right? All right, y'all. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There is nothing you can do about it except meet me here tomorrow at 12 noon for Winning Wednesday. All right, I'm gone. Let me get our sponsors on to take us out. Y'all be blessed. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Number 1. Tuesday is primary voting day in 7 states across the country: California, Iowa, Mississippi, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, and South Dakota. As the largest day for primary elections thus far, many political analysts will be parsing through the primary results with a look toward what this means for Democrats and Republicans in the pursuit of control of the U.S. House and Senate in 2023. Check out the What You Need to Know newsletter for some of the races featuring African American candidates, including the campaign for Los Angeles mayoral race being run by Congresswoman Karen Bass. Number 2. In a recent poll, 7 out of 10 Americans said that new legislation reducing gun violence should be prioritized over protecting gun rights amid a particularly deadly string of mass shootings in the country. 29% of those surveyed said gun rights should be a higher priority than reducing gun violence in the country. According to this poll, 90% of Democrats said lawmakers should prioritize laws focused on reducing gun violence, while 75% of respondents who identify as independents said the same thing. Number 3, diners return to restaurants in most of Beijing for the first time in more than a month as authorities further eased pandemic-related restrictions. Museums, cinemas, and gyms were allowed to operate at up to 75% of capacity, and delivery drivers could once again bring packages to a customer's door rather than leave them to be picked up at the entrances to apartments. The return to near normal applied everywhere in Beijing except for one district and part of another where the outbreak has lingered. Number 4, a black actress by the name of Moses Ingram is now starring as Reva on the Star Wars new show Obi-Wan Kenobi. Though Ingram's performance has drawn largely positive reviews, she's been targeting online before the series release and revealed on Instagram she's been bombarded with hundreds of racist and threatening messages. Racist backlash has plagued the Star Wars community for years, but it's ramped up since 2015 when Lucasfilm strived for a greater diversity by adding more people of color in their lead roles. Number 5. According to a University of Pennsylvania report, approximately 37% of Americans have advance directives, which include living wills and power of attorney designations. These documents specify what and who should have medical decisions if you become seriously ill and unable to make those decisions for yourself. Read more about it in today's newsletter, brought to you by Texas CPA Katrina M. Kraft. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Your words and actions show your character. Whew. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Damon Williams, comedian extraordinaire, and contributor Cameron Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.